Hi and welcome to the Antisocial Chat Show. I'm Eleanor Gould, Chief Copywriter and Domestic Goddess at Creative Copywriting.
And I'm Tara Tabico, Digital Marketing Consultant and App Queen.
So this week, Tara, we're talking about something that I know within the copywriting and content writers world, it always causes a bit of a stir. And I think you've caused a bit of a stir recently because you did a poll. Maybe you can tell our audience about the poll that you conducted and the results.
Yes, I found a very lovely app and I thought, what can I run a poll about? And I thought, something controversial. Well, copywriting and content writing. Are they the same thing? So yeah, I did that, and it's quite interesting because some people. Well, I have the stats right here.
Okay, I'd like to know the stats.
But so far, and can I just start off by saying they're not the same thing? I said it as a statement. I wasn't being diplomatic. Like, well, I can understand. No, they're not the same thing. But anyway, 63%. So you lot of my buddies say no, it's not the same thing. But 19% said, yeah, it's the same thing. And fortunately, there were some clever people that were just not sure.
Not sure, okay.
Not sure. And to be clear, yeah, there can be an overlap, and I'm sure, well, let's talk about it. But they're not the same thing.
Okay. Well, I can see why nowadays people get confused about it. And it's a bit of concern because it's not only the writers who might have a different definition as to what content writing and copywriting is, but also people, clients who come to you and say, oh, could you do some copywriting for me? And I'm like, oh yeah, right. Okay. And they're like, on the blog post, I'm like, well, that's not copywriting, that's content writing. But I can understand why you'd think that, because nowadays with the digital age, everything seems to be bundled in to copywriting, whereas traditionally copywriting has always been is something used on adverts, used in the advertising industry, and is about selling, whereas content writing is what it says on the tin. It's content, it's blog posts, it's articles. Now that's not to mean that content writing has no value. Of course it does, especially in this day and age of content marketing, where you see some really great well-written content that really attracts your audience, draws them in, makes you know, like, and trust them, all those wonderful things, but it's not copywriting.
But here's the thing, because sorry to cut you, but you just said that content and you're getting people to trust you. Well, I think maybe for me, that's where I can separate the two. When I write a blog post, I just want people to say, oh, that was really informative. I learned something new, right? Yes. Not buy something. So the trust, is that the aim when you're doing a piece of copywriting? When like, for example, my Victoria's Secrets, if you're going to do some copywriting for this, are you in such a short space, are you trying to get me to trust you, or are you trying to sell it to me?
No, well, if I was doing a blog, what I'd be telling you was edutainment or infotainment, whatever you like to call it nowadays, a bit of a mix of both. So you're drawing people in, making people interested in your product and in you, that they can always come back to your blog post and find some valuable and interesting information. And so eventually it does form that whole, I'll go to Tara's blog and she'll tell me about that particular product or something that I want to know in that area. And eventually I come to know, like, and trust you. And then when it comes to actually selling something, you're the girl to go to. So that's what I mean by that. So content writing is very important, and an engaging bit of content writing, can do businesses wonders. And I think, lots of businesses do definitely need it. But, as you say, there is the distinctions between copywriting in its purest form, which is selling, sales pages and whatnot, and content writing is becoming more and more blurred with the internet. But it's important to know the purpose of either. One, as you say, the content writing is to entertain, teach people, what have you. And copywriting really is there to get people to take an action, most usually to buy a product. So
right.
that's the slight distinction.
That's a distinction I understand. And,
yeah.
and the only thing I would say is that when you're writing a blog post, you should have a call to action on your page. But that's where copywriting comes in, because you want to make sure that whatever it is you want them to do, you want to sell to them to go and check out your resource library, or to go and take a look at an interview that was done that might be relevant. I don't know, but then yes, you're using some copywriting techniques on a call to action. But that's not, for me, that whole blog post that's been written is not copywriting.
No, and not in a purest sense, no. And yeah, having a call to action is just a principle used in copywriting, but it's not the whole. A blog post is not a sales page.
No.
So no. So that I think that's.
I have a question for you then.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Yeah, because as we're talking through this, what is SEO copywriting then?
Well, search engine optimization, as you know what it's called.
Therefore, every time I write my blog post, I make sure it's optimized for SEO.
I think.
So, therefore, can you understand how people might get confused? So, if I want my blog post to matter to Google or Bing or whoever, then I have to make sure it's optimized, right?
Yeah, and that's what
something that or copywriting.
Well, good bloggers, who are doing content writing technically, know their SEO really well. Of course they do, because their blog has to, reach the world, and they've got lots of competition. Copywriters, if you're writing a sales page, of course you have to know some of the keywords and know about SEO. But that, really, if you're writing a sales page, or let's take it offline for a moment, because I think a lot of people forget about packaging and offline things, which copywriting is used for. Copies all around you. You need to go outside your flat, you'll see an advert. That is copywriting. That is not content on that billboard, is it? But yeah, I mean, SEO is important, but SEO copywriting is, say, for example, I guess you're building a website, then you'd bring that SEO copywriting expertise into the frame. But
okay, that makes sense. So if I wanted to hire an SEO copywriter, they wouldn't be writing blog posts for me.
This is the thing. It depends how people define themselves, because some people call themselves SEO copywriters, and really they're probably bloggers or content writers, and other people, rightly so, call themselves SEO copywriters, and they are actual copywriters. So
it's so confusing.
Well, this is the thing. You can't. Copywriters and content writers can interchange. You can write content and you can write copy, okay? But not all of them can. Some people can only write content. Some people can only write sales copy. And there is a distinct difference. If you get somebody who's old school sales copywriter, who can really bring in the money by selling something, a good salesperson, say, can you sit down and write an article about, I don't know, giraffes? They wouldn't know where to start. And likewise, a really good journalist or feature writer, if I said, could you write a sales page? They wouldn't know where to start. So, I'm not saying that there's not a crossover. There definitely is. And some people can do, all of it. Some people are very lucky and they can turn a hand to anything. But generally speaking, that was where I would see there isn't always that crossover. So make sure either what you're selling is what you say on the tin, offering as a service, and as a client or a buyer, make sure you know what you're buying, because that's where the difference comes in.
And I think maybe the poll that I did needs some qualitative kind of area to it, because I really like to know I really want to know the people who say that content writing and copywriting is the same. I want to understand why, how, where, and everything.
Well, I guess it's because nowadays with the internet, and you could call copy is anything you write.
Right.
So copy and writing goes together, but in a purist sense, it really isn't. Now, a lot of people will, disagree with me on that. possibly. But at the end of the day, the way I definitely define it is copywriting is about selling or persuading people to take an action, and content writing is to entertain, to educate. They're both really, really, really important and valuable. So I'm not saying one's more important than the other. I'm definitely not saying that. I
always say that copywriting is about selling, using your words to sell. I don't actually refer to content as being entertaining, but I guess it's probably because it's my style, right? I like to inform, I like to teach, but when I'm reading copy, I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on in the world of digital marketing. I want to know, how do I set up my new Facebook ads, because everything's checked. This for me is informative, but copywriting, to me, it's like I'm going to take an action to buy something, or to, it's going to lead me somewhere. I'm not reading it and going, oh, well, I didn't know
but it can be entertaining in as much as if you're told a good story that then leads you to buy something.
Copywriting or content writing?
Copywriting, but content writing can be obviously entertaining as well, because it's infotainment, if you like. It's like giving you information in an easy to understand and sometimes
only if they're very clever and writing a storytelling way like you do. Brownie points for me.
Lots of brownie points for you.
but no, okay, so it'll be interesting. I would love for everyone else, or anyone, not everyone, everyone in the whole wide world, I'd love to have some more people, take the poll. So
definitely
include it in the in the link in the comments. Why can I not speak? I would love for more people to take the poll, so I'm going to include the link to the poll in the comments.
Indeed, and let us know also in the comments what you think. Take Tyra's poll, but also let us know what you think. Am I completely wrong? Is Tyra completely wrong? Are you completely right? Who knows? But we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Most definitely.
Okay, so that's all I've got time for now. Tyra, have you got anything else you'd like to add?
No, because I've got to go and get ready to shop.
She's going shopping. Oh my God, is it Black Friday shopping?
Yes, we are recording this the day before Black Friday. So I've got to get flex my credit card. So that's all from me as well. Oh, it's getting very dark here as well.
Okay, well, thank you for watching, and let us know your comments in the comment section below, and fill out Tyra's poll, because we want to know what do you think is the difference between, or if there is one, between copywriting and content writing. Does it really matter? Anyway, that's enough from me. Love you some great copy.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye.